Hey, hey, puppy people, it's Cindy. I just wanted to jump on here and share a quick little PowerPoint that I put together because of a phone call that I had the other day. And, I like to share with you things that happen so that you can benefit from them and thereby your dog benefits from them. That's what it's all about. So over the years, over the many years, I have noticed certain things repetitiously that owners do that can contribute to some behavior issues, not just contribute to the issues, but also prolong the suffering for the owner. So that's why I put this quick little live training together for you. I call it the 3 most common mistakes owners make. And gosh, it's so true. I just see it over and over again all the time. So let me switch the screen real quick here. Whoops. Helps if I hit the right buttons. Okay. Hello. So this is the little PowerPoint I put together to collect my thoughts, because my thoughts are very scattered. I'm like a Jack Russell Terrier, I swear. So the 3 most common training mistakes. And again, I see this all the time. So I wanted to share it with you so that you can benefit from these things. And I put the picture of me and Iggy here on the cover because he's kind of a mistake. No offense, Iggy. He's not a mistake now. Where is he? But he was not what we had intended to show up at our house, and now we love him. So okay, so first of all, who the heck am I? Those of you that aren't familiar with me, my name is Cindy Scott. I'm the founder, director of Dogs Etc. Dog Training, which has been around now. Gosh, I founded that in 1997, so 24 years. Don't make me do math. My son was 6 weeks old, and when I started it, so that's how I know. Birthday math. But this is a picture of me and my very first dog. That was Pepper. And I couldn't have been happier. This is a very happy Cindy. I think I was 13 or 14. And I could never have a dog. I've always been in love with dogs, could never have one. Those of you know my story, but my younger brother is very disabled, and my mom just thought it was too much to have a dog in the house with him. So then when we moved out here to Orange County in California, and my dad just felt really bad for me, I think, and because I had left all my friends, and maybe he was feeling a little guilty. I don't know. But one day he was like, okay, get her a dog. And my mom was horrified, but she did it. We went out and got my little Pepper, and life was good. She was the best thing that ever happened. She taught me so many lessons. This dog literally saved my life again and again. And just a story for another day. All those things that she helped me through. But unfortunately, I lost her prematurely. She was hit by a car. And I was so pissed. Besides being devastated, I had done everything I was supposed to do with her. I had taken her to the training courses I was supposed to take her to. I did everything they told me to do, and it didn't save her life. Oh, she could do a fabulous 30-minute downstay and a fabulous heel. Didn't save her life. And so that's what led me to go, okay, I want to save dogs' lives. Yes, I want them to be well behaved. Yes, a heel is nice. Yes, a downstay is nice. But if it can't get them out of the street and back to you where it's safe, or prevent them from running out the door like she did and into the street, what good is everything else? And it just so happened I was finishing up my undergraduate work at Cal State Fullerton, and with a minor in psychology. And we were studying, of course, B.F. Skinner, Pavlov, and the miracle of positive reinforcement and scientific learning theory. And I also, after I graduated, little short bio on me. After I graduated, I went to work for a publishing firm, and which was Dog Fancy, Cat Fancy Publications, Bird Talk I worked on. And through that, I, met some behaviorists, had the privilege of working with some very world famous behaviorists, some wonderful behaviorists, and just extended my knowledge and was able to work with different species, let alone different types of dogs, and honing my training skills, again, focusing on safety and keeping them safe. And the owner sane, basically. So I did that for a number of years. And then this happened to me. These two little nuggets came into my life, and thank God they did. I can't even imagine life without them. My Alex and my Harrison, and then all of these guys happened, literally showing up at my doorstep. And except for my Zoe dog, Zoe was the one and only dog I've ever gone to a breeder. And oh God, that dog, and Max, oh my gosh, all of them. This is Woody, this is my Cooper, just light of my life, all of them. And as you can tell, they're family, an integral part of our family. My mom called Alex Mowgli because she said he was raised by wolves, and he kind of was. He was part of the pack. But once these human beings came into my life, obviously they took precedence over everything that was going on, and they still do. My entire world is built around them. I have a very unusually close relationship with my kids, and they're the best. You guys know me and know my kids, how much I dote on them. But what they taught me was, when it comes to training, well, when it comes to everything in life, you don't have a whole lot of time, especially when you got a toddler, you got an infant. You have to really prioritize things and cut out the fluff, cut out things that don't work, and really hone in on things that do work. Because if it doesn't work, I don't have time for it. Literally don't have time for it. And so after 30 years as professional trainer, behavior consultant, working with literally thousands of dogs and their owners. And I always say, of all the numbers, or I'm sorry, letters after my name, all my credentials and degrees, MOM is my favorite. And I think MOM has taught me the most, and the importance of honing out what works and what doesn't. And here's some more pictures. This is little baby Alex, and this is Max. Oh God, love of my life, this dog. I go on about him, but the relationship and this is little Harrison getting a kiss. My kids, both of them, their first word was mama, and both of them, their second word was dada. And both of them, the third word was May for Max. They used to call Max May. Oh my God, it makes me cry. And I just love, what they learned from being around the animals, the compassion, the empathy. I don't think kids can have too much unconditional love. And that's the one thing that, with my Pepper, and I will always be indebted to her, is she taught me unconditional love. And that's the miracle that are dogs, and that's the paying it forward that I will do forever, is to repay her and all of them for what they have given so selflessly, sorry. So a dog is for life. And this is my Harrison. Gosh, I think he was like 5 here. And this is little Cooper. The day after Gary, my husband, found her at his work at that time, his business, she had wandered in just full of tar and emaciated, and just, she was a mess. Who knows how long she'd been on the street. And I love this look on her face. Look how happy she is. She knows that she's going to be loved and safe and happy for the rest of her life. And she lived another almost 17 years. And she was the best. She was the best. And the smile on this little guy's face too, the happiness, and just more love in his life. And he still has that smile on his face. This is not one of our dogs. This is Tito. This is a friend of ours, Golden Doodle, Labradoodle, some doodle. Tito he's a great dog too. Well, they're all great. But Tito spent some time with us too, but I love that. A dog is for life. No matter what happens, you know, they're an integral part of our family. And a few weeks ago, I got an email from someone that she said that they were on the verge of giving up their dog, that they were about to take it to the shelter. It had some potty issues still going on, some uber attention seeking stuff, some stuff that was just driving them nuts, that they were kind of at their wits' end. They couldn't handle anymore. And she had stumbled across one of my YouTube videos with just some simple little tips. And she said it just made all the difference in the world. And so, that's what it's all about. And that's what motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing. And I always will, is just those one here and there, the emails, the texts, the comments on YouTube. Oh, you saved our dog's life. Da, 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 da. I mean, that's just, I can't even tell you what that means to me. So after almost 30 years, thousands of dogs, I've seen the same mistakes. And that's what motivated me to come on and do this little blurb, to share this with you, because I see this time and time and time again. I see it so much, and it just hurts my heart that everybody keeps making these mistakes. And I just want to utilize this technology and this format to reach as many people as I can, because even if I can just give you one little tip that's going to save you and your dog from suffering, that's my whole motivation. So, so here are the 3 mistakes. And the first one, failing to train. I can't tell you how much I see this all the time. Failing to train, failing to do anything. First and foremost, people selecting the wrong breed for them. And I get it, rescues, you know, I'm as guilty as anybody. I don't really have a say in what comes to me. But if you do have a say in what comes to you, please research those breeds. Know the difference between your herding dogs and your hound dogs, and the energy level that is involved and the drive. That's one thing. You know, my Cooper, she's a stray, but we're assuming, I mean, obviously she looks like a Malinois, Belgian Malinois. And that's what, when she came to us, I thought, oh, well, she's like a lab German Shepherd mix or something. But I'm like, this is not the personality of a German Shepherd. This is not the personality of a lab. Her drive was so intense. And her energy level was so high. I'm like, that's a Malinois. That's a Malinois. And that's why they use them in the military. That's why they use them for police dogs. And that's why they are not a good example or a good choice for everybody. Because if you don't have the time and the energy to put into redirecting that drive and to training a dog like that, you're going to have problems. You're going to have OCDs. You're going to have a destructive dog. You're going to have a leash reactive dog. I can't tell you how many highly intelligent dogs and highly active dogs like border collies, blue heelers that were bred not just to do a job, but to do a very tenacious, hard driving job. So many of those dogs end up with OCDs and really severe behavior problems. So when you get a dog like that, whether you do it intentionally or not, you have to know what you're in for. And we have to, from day one, start training them to do what we want them to do, or I guarantee you they're going to do what you would rather them not do, because they have to get it out somehow. Okay. And that's the other thing about failing to train, is waiting for problems to start rather than preventing them. Rather than, what you should do is from day one, the moment that dog or puppy walks across your threshold, your front door, you start giving them boundaries. And that's really what training is giving your dog boundaries, teaching them how they're supposed to behave, rather than just waiting for them to screw up and then punish them. I can't tell you how often I hear, well, how do I discipline my dog? How do I discipline my dog? Well, if you're teaching them what they're supposed to do, you're not going to have to discipline them. They're just going to be busy doing what you want, and life is good. I talked to so many parents when my kids were little, because obviously, I trained my kids this way too, that I never used the word no. It wasn't about punishment. It was about positive reinforcement. It was about teaching, da, 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 da. And so many, almost said owners, so many parents were like, well, if you don't spank them, how do you discipline them? And I remember this one owner, I always keep saying that. So one parent said that to me, and I remember just being floored at the question. I couldn't even process the question. How do you discipline them? I'm like, well, I don't have to, because they're doing that they're supposed to do, because I have taught them. So it's really the same thing with dogs. Again, whether it's a little puppy, a rescue dog, whatever the situation is, or a dog that you've had and now you want to start training them, it's about teaching what you want. Obviously, with puppies, it's a little bit more intricate, because puppies don't know anything. They're like little wild animals. They have no clue. And with rescue dogs, often we have to untrain some of the things that they have learned in their previous situation, shall we say. So don't wait for the problems to start. Train right away, and train early and train often. And again, training early, not waiting for stuff to happen, but as soon as that dog walks through your front door, you start training. And if you have a puppy, the nuance to that is the neonatal period. You want to keep in mind, if you have a puppy, the ideal time for learning, just like with little kids, when their brain is most malleable and they're most open to and susceptible to new ideas, is from birth to 3 to 4 months. There's some different research out there. Some is saying 3 months, some is saying closer to 4 months. And I think there's individual differences, just like with people. And then there's new research that is proving how important socialization is gestationally. Yes, even before those puppies are born, it's important to start socializing them. And again, just with human pregnancies, if the mother is stressed, the baby's going to be stressed. And it's biological. Also, I like to think that there's, vibrationally and metaphysically things are going on. But just, scientifically and medically, we know that if they're stressed, they're going to be releasing cortisol or cortisone. If they're happy and they're not stressed, then they release dopamine, serotonin, those feel good hormones that are going to go through to the puppies and to the babies. So again, if you have the luxury of selecting a dog and are getting from a breeder, talk to your breeder about how the pregnant dog is kept. What do they do through pregnancy? And this is why those puppy mill puppies, man, not only have physical issues, but mental issues. A lot of them are fearful. A lot of them are nervous dogs. And yes, we can do behavior modification and we can work on it. But the more that we can do earlier, it's really an investment. It's like money in the bank for the rest of your dog's life. And there is research scientifically and a lot anecdotally experience that I've had that, working with so many rescue dogs that I have, if we get past a certain point of the dog's development, yes, we can do certain things, but we can never really make up for what they lost early on. So if you have a puppy, gosh, start the training from day one. And I know the problem with puppies is vaccines. I mean, just like with us, I mean, it's keeping everybody safe. Oh, my glasses are just smudged. It's just with us, the vaccines and keeping everybody safe. So that's why I'm really, really embracing this new online format. Besides, it's getting me over some of my issues. But I'm embracing the online format because I realize that not a lot of people can do in-person stuff because of the vaccine situation, because of health issues, because of timing, so many different issues. We can't always get together in person. But puppies, until they've had that last round of vaccines or even a couple of rounds of vaccines, getting together in person can be really tricky. And then, doing in-home training, me coming to you is not always logistically possible for people. Plus I get the expense of it. So that's why I am embracing this new format to make this information as easy as accessible as a tongue twister for as many people as possible, and for those puppies to start training ASAP. You don't want to waste any time, especially with puppies. So train. And then the second mistake that I see all the time is lack of enrichment. And again, this is for every age, every stage of dog, but quite honestly, a bored dog is a naughty dog. Oh my gosh, 90% of behavior problems are due to boredom. Most dogs were bred to do a job. They need that physical and mental stimulation. And they've done a lot of research on this, believe it or not. And so 5 minutes of mental stimulation, of mental exercise, is worth about 20 minutes of physical. That's right, you heard me. Okay, 20 minutes of physical is the same as 5 minutes of mental. And the thing with physical as well is your dog builds up stamina. So to start with, 20 minutes of running around the yard will get them tired. And then as they mature and they build that stamina, I can't talk today, stamina, then it's going to take 30 minutes and it's going to take 40 minutes to wear them out. It's like training for a marathon. So the mental exercise is what's really, really important. And that's something I talk about all the time in all of my programs, whatever the format of your choosing, all the time is different strategies to integrate the training into your life. Why can't I talk? And simple things to make this training sustainable, because again, a bored dog is a naughty dog. A dog that is bored, that's when they're chewing your shoes. That's when they're counter surfing, looking for stuff to get into, stealing stuff. The reason your dog steals stuff is to get you to chase them around the house because it's fun. It's a game. So, simple things to do to keep your dog, long walks are great, but who's always got time for that? Sometimes it's more effective to do a couple of 10-minute walks than one 30-minute walk. Okay, break it up. Again, go back to knowing your breed, know your dog's energy level. And then, I'm a huge Kong fan. Love the Kongs. I'm an ambassador for them now, which I absolutely love, because I've been an ambassador for them for years, but formally I'm an ambassador for them now, and keeping them busy, putting food in Kongs. I've got a million videos on that. Check out my YouTube channel for more information about that. You'll see me stuff them and see me use them with my dogs. But it's just a great way to keep your dog occupied, because I don't have to do anything. I am the laziest trainer in the world. The less I have to do, the better. It's about teaching them how to occupy themselves and not always looking at me to entertain them. It's like a toddler, look at me, I'm bored. No, just go play with your Kong. And yeah, there's some easy ways to do that. And we can utilize that strategy, in so many different applications. But the less I have to do, the better. I want them just to learn how to keep themselves busy, but not giving them ways and outlets for this. Digging, chewing, stealing, counter surfing, even barking sometimes is lack of enrichment. And this is something, like Kongs, they have a whole line of zoo toys for zoo animals. Yeah. Because, the destruction that a bored Labrador can do. Imagine the destruction aboard, I was going to say kangaroo, tiger, whatever. When they get bored, that's when they're going to start not only having some behavior issues, but also, again, some OCD things really come out. The more intelligent an animal is, the more they're going to get stressed and bored. And giving them outlets for that is super, super important. Physical outlets and mental, and incorporate this into your daily routine with your dog. This isn't just, you do it a couple times a week or a couple times a month. No, it's every day. And again, depending on your dog's breed, depending on your dog's age, and their individual energy levels, how much and how often you have to do it. Okay. So remember, a tired dog is a happy owner. Tired dog is a happy owner. That's your mantra. So lack of enrichment. Number 3 is inconsistency. And, my gosh, I'm guilty of this too. I have to keep on track. Your dog is learning with every interaction you have with him, not just in formal training sessions. Rules and manners have to be consistent with all activities. So I see this constantly. Play is an excellent training time. And when you are playing with your dog, in fact, there's a whole thing that I do, a whole module in my new upcoming training program. It's play training. You're playing, you're having fun, but your dog is still learning. And play is a huge reward. So we want to make sure that we're actually rewarding what we want. And playtime isn't, it's not anarchy. It's not like a mosh pit where there's no rules, okay? They still have to listen to you. They still have to come when called. They still have to sit when you say sit. And we have to make sure that we're not inadvertently rewarding this high energy level. Dogs can go from 0 to 100 in about half a second. And one of the big complaints I get is, how do I calm my dog down? My dog is too crazy. He gets too overexcited. Well, oftentimes when you're playing with him, you're overexciting him and you're rewarding it. He doesn't know the difference between playtime and, you're not feeling well, or you've had a long day and you just want to relax. He doesn't know the difference. So playtime is training time, and we want to take advantage of it because play is a huge reward for your dog. So why wouldn't we want to incorporate that with our training? Okay. And this is a tough one. But my job is to be honest, and sometimes honesty hurts. but your dog's, hello. But your dog's behavior is in direct response to your behavior. I know this is a tough one. So if your dog is doing something you don't like, the first step, he just photobombed. The first step is go, okay, what am I rewarding? Okay. The dog is going crazy when I bring out the leash and jumping all over me. I wrestle him to the ground and I clip the leash on and we go for a walk. You just rewarded the going crazy. If your dog is jumping up on you and you push him away or you start getting really excited, you just rewarded the getting excited. Okay. So like what Rudy's doing now, Rudy's coming up and he's trying to solicit some attention from me. If I was giving him a bunch of attention, or if I started playing with him, getting really excited, then he would learn that that's a great way to get my attention, is to be annoying, which kind of sometimes it is. But if I ignore him, he goes away. You know, if I wanted to engage, I would have him do a sit and then I would engage with him. So watch what you're rewarding. I hear a lot, well, you know, my dog does this to me, but they don't do it to my boyfriend, or they do it to me, but they don't do it to my kids. That's a red flag. What are you doing that they're not doing? What's your reaction that they're not reacting to? Yeah, that's right. It's the ABCs of behavior. I go into this at length in, you know, in all my courses, but it's the ABCs. It's antecedent, what triggers the behavior. It's the behavior, obviously, the B, and the C is the conditioned response to it. Okay. What happens, the consequence, what happens after the behavior. So just kind of watch your behavior as you watch your dog's behavior. Okay. And then the other thing is learning is lifelong, because here's the deal. You know, if you slack off, so's your dog. And it's our tendency. I do the same thing. You know, the dog gets to a certain point and you're like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore. Or, you know, they get to a certain level and you're like, yeah, I don't need to take him for 3 walks a day anymore. He gets it. Board and train. I talk to people all the time. I just talked to somebody the other day. The dog had come back from a board and train and they didn't continue the follow-ups and they were right back to square one with the dog. So whatever type of training you do, you got to keep up with it. And that's why I always talk about sustainability and ways to keep going with it, because it's our nature to slack off. You know, I call it my donut theory of dog training. You know, I drop a few pounds and I'm like, oh, I can have that donut. I can have those Girl Scout cookies. No, I can't, because those pounds will come back with friends, and they do. So, so keeping you on track and giving you the support that you need to keep going on with it is my job. And it's for the life of your dog. So that's why I love to include things that give you enough support, even like the Facebook group that, you know, with any of my programs, you're get into my Zen Dog Facebook group. And that way you have access to the community and other dog owners to help support you as well. It's good to have support. You're not in this alone. You don't have to be in this alone. So consistency, it's important. So if you're not sure where to start, again, you're not alone. Help is here. I know how confusing it is. Ask 10 different trainers, you're going to get 10 different answers, and their way is the best. You know, go on YouTube and there's 50 million different examples and different types of training. There's private training, there's group classes, the board and train. And that's why I'm really trying to embrace this new digital age, kids. I'm so old, because it's a great format. It's a wonderful format. So I can honestly give you all of the above. We can do privates like this, but in a group. And then I can give you recordings of all of this. So you have all of the support to keep you going. And you get the benefits of the group class because you're in there with other people, but it's also the one-on-one time. I'm there to answer questions. And it's this format, it's really like me being there in your living room, but you also get a recording of it, which I can't give you in your living room. So lots of support for you. And that's why I started my new program, Muttamorphasis, because it's the quickest, easiest transformation for your dog. And to make it as easy and as accessible for you to get this information. And it's a 12-week immersive program. So I started it doing 6 live trainings, but I just couldn't keep it to 6. So now we're doing 8 trainings where it's live modules like this. And it's us going over things together. So if you have questions, I'm right there to answer those questions. And then it's 4 weeks additional of just, okay, Rudy, enough, mister, go on. It's just 4 weeks of us support. So I can go over and over this with you. Okay. And then it goes into a digital course. So you have access for a year to go back and rewatch these recordings as much as you want. Because I know it's a lot of information to give you, but it's a way for you just to go back and go, okay, what did she say about that? What did she say about this? And to review. So the first live module course is starting Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022 at 2:00. So I just thought that was just perfect. So I couldn't resist. And what's the investment? So it's going to be $9.97. And honestly, for all this that you're getting, if we met privately and did one of my private programs for this amount of time, it would be over $6,000. But I want everybody to have access to this. So it's less than $1,000. And if you enroll as a founding member, it's just $697. $697 for all of that. And you will receive lifetime access. But to get that, you have to enroll before we start on the 22nd. So you get lifetime access to everything that we're going to be doing, plus anything additional I like to stick in there. Okay. But you have to enroll before the 22nd. If you enroll, as soon as you enroll, I have some goodies in there that you have immediate access to. I have some trainings on mindset, things to keep in mind as you do the training, some things on how to read a food label, all of that you will have immediate access to. Here's the link with details. The link is also below this video. If you're not sure, call me, text me, send me an email, whatever's your desired mode of communication, and we can talk. You can reach me at thedogsetc.com. Instagram, I'm at Sid Scott, and we'll talk and we'll get you started. So anyway, let me switch my screen back here. If I can do that. Oh, stop share. There I am. Hello. So anyway, contact me. We'll set something up and get you started right away. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Go play with your dog and have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care now. Bye-bye.